So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session of Education in AI Era. This session is being hosted by GG Ahmedabad and GG Pune. As you are all must be aware, and those who are new, I'm just explaining once again. GG stands for Google Educator Group, and Google Educator Groups are registered with Google. And I'm the leader for GG Ahmedabad, Dr. Vishal Varia, and today with me I have a co-leader, Payal Rachadia for GG Ahmedabad. And we conduct such professional development sessions for teachers. We have been working since the pandemic or before the pandemic, and we have been training teachers for some technological upgradations or tech tools. So basically dealing with technology. But once it comes to teaching, it's not limited to Google. It's around edtech technology. So along with this, we have many professional development sessions. Occasionally, earlier we used to do a session every week. Then since after pandemic, the school started, we reduced it to once in 15 days, then once in a month. And now sometimes, as the need be, we do the sessions. So this is a very important session today we are having. And this session is all about education in AI era. And I'm overjoyed to welcome Raghu Pandey, the founder of imature.in. And he is going to guide us for about how education will flow in the AI era, what things have to be taken care by school, how a school can actually work in an AI era, and many such things will be discussed today. But in the meantime, while we have many more people to join in, okay, we are waiting for some people to join in. Before we start the main session, we have got a very good activity for engaging all those who are present here. So I would request Payal ma'am to please have the engagement activity. So I'm stopping the screen share. You can continue with yours.
Hello everyone, myself Payal Rachadia. I am a co-leader of GG Ahmedabad. And every time when we are starting our session, we share some activities. May I request Vishal sir, I just share my screen and okay. So this session is regarding the AI, and here we have a Raghu sir, which are very expert in cyber security and cyber crime, internet maturity. So here we have a one quiz regarding the how cyber smart are you.
So Payal ma'am, you have to share any codes here.
No, sir. I think my screen is already visible, and all the participant has to write the answer in the message box.
Okay. Great.
First question is which of the following would be the best password? Here there is a one A, B, and C. And sir, can you please you just read the
yeah, so chat.
message.
We have got some entries for B. I mean, so far 3 entries for B. 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah,
7th. So most all entries are for B.
Yeah, exactly. We already know that the password should be the capitalized letter, lower letter, and some special characters also. So our right answer is a B. Next is when visiting your favorite website, a pop-up appears that reads, "Have you have won a free Apple iPod? What should you do?" Here you can see the 3 options. Click here, then share the link with your friends and families, and do not click the pop-up and close it. Yes, sir. Any have?
Yeah,
message?
most of the entries are coming from C.
Yes, this is the right answer.
Yes.
This question is regarding the phishing.
So our audience is already cyber aware.
Yes, sir. Next
Good.
is which website URL is legitimate.
Good
It's
one.
regarding it's regarding safe browsing. Read the options carefully.
B is wrong answer actually. A is A B comes. Which one is correct, Palma?
A is correct. I think
Yeah.
HTTPS stand for the secure, that describe the secure website. So in option A, there is a HTTPS and S for the sign of the security. So right answer is A.
Good.
Now, in this question, you have to select the two options. You receive an email from a co-worker with an attachment, and the subject lines read the please see attachment document. The email contains no further information. What should you do? Sometimes what happen, that might some email scam and that's might some hacking. So you got this kind of the messages. What you do? There are the three options. Open an attachment to get more information. Contact the sender by the phone and call or email is, and delete an email.
So here you have to select two options. One is
Yes,
B. What is the other one? Yeah, we get most of the one single option, that is B.
yeah, B and C is the right answer.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
Next is using two-factor authentication is not an effective tool for the securing your accounts. I think there is one.
Is
Yes.
Yes, B. B is the right answer. Good.
Yes, exactly. We already know that, right? Next is the software and application updates are not important and can just be ignored.
Again, B.
Yes, we have to update our system, our devices. Next is which of the following statement is not true for the cyber smart people? We always be smart on the internet. The options are the people are always who they say they are. Second is always have a passcode on your device and
Mom.
think before you click. So here you have to choose the wrong one.
So A is the answer which is reflected.
Yes, exactly. A is the right answer. And I think in this era, you have to just be smart and be mature on the internet. Right, Raghu sir?
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. So thank you, Payal teacher, for engaging the audience and doing the warm-up exercise. So now I think every member here who has joined are now attentive and eager to start with the session. So I warmly welcome Raghu Pandey, the founder of imature.in, for initiating today's session. Over to you, Raghu.
Thank you, sir. It is a very good opportunity by Google Educators Group, and I'm personally thankful to Dr. Varia for giving me this opportunity. I'll start with my screen sharing first.
So in the meantime, I would request all members who are present here, just keep your mics muted and video also muted. We'll be having opportunities to interact, with which will be keeping it open. At that time, we can allow people to talk. So we purposefully kept the meeting session, the session in Google Meet. The reason is that we can interact, but we'll open up the session for interaction. Till then, please bear with us. Yes, Raghu, over to you.
Okay, just confirming if you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
All right. So good afternoon, one and all. Thank you so much for joining. And I am since this ChatGPT thing has lost, I am having mild anxiety attacks since past few months. So you help me with this, please. You can put my nerves to calm down by participating in this discussion well. So let's go ahead and here we are discussing future of schools, the future of school education system in India and even in the world. I know there are people who have joined from other countries as well. And we are talking about the survival and success of the schools in future. And we are not talking about 5 years down the line. We are talking about 2 to 3 years down the line. This is the future which will be dominated by artificial intelligence, Internet and something called NEP. So majority of the people here are from India, but people who are not from India, NEP is just guidelines of for 21st century education to be delivered by schools. Guidelines are given to the Indian schools by Government of India. That's called National Education Policy, and it covers all the best practices of 21st century education, which are being discussed in any other country equally well. So there is nothing specific about NEP that constrains it to Indian schools, but you can just consider that as a guideline for 21st century education. All right, friends. So let's move ahead and towards the end of this presentation, maybe we will talk to people whether they really believe that the very survival of school, if we are talking about the very survival of school, does that sound an exaggeration? We'll talk about that. First, let me put my arguments in front of you. I'll start with a story. You must all have used this device called BlackBerry phone. Am I right?
Yes.
uh, so you know what, at one point of time around 2005-6, BlackBerry was the king of smartphone business in the world, right? Almost every smartphone in the world was a BlackBerry phone, almost every smartphone, right? And something happened that by 2011-12, this king was nowhere in the market. It went down to near 0% market share. Uh, can somebody tell me what was the reason for this? Quick guesses. What happened to a company which was having multi-billion dollars of revenues, uh, more money that the states of India get sometimes in a year, the one company was getting? What happened to them in 5 years? They were nowhere.
Yeah. So we have one answer from Bhumika, ma'am. Yes, you can please.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The external environment changed suddenly. They were popular amongst the executive BlackBerry because of the features related to presentation and all. So all those features which are needed by executives, they were available with BlackBerry only at that point of time, and they were also providing instant messenger BBM. But then we had Android, and now we are able to uh, use these PowerPoints through in our phones, and we also have WhatsApp. So because the external environment changed and they were not able to sustain with their competitive advantage, that is where they were. That is why they were out of the market.
Ma'am, you are correct, but there are few more details to this story.
Okay.
So the reason BlackBerry died was myopia. We all know myopia is
Short.
short-sightedness.
Yes.
What could not see? They were only able to see the current demand from the executives and the top business persons, as you rightly said, that they were loving BlackBerry, the full keyboard phone and all the apps like BBM, and they were loving this thing. And BlackBerry was enjoying this love they were getting from their current customers and a great demand they were getting from their current customers. But the myopia was they were not able to see the future demand of touch screen phones, and nothing was happening in hiding. Apple had already launched its iPhone in 2007, and they had brushed it aside that this is a toy that only some kids are going to love.
Um, Raghu, sorry to interrupt. We have a suggestion from the chat that can you just have the presentation the full screen, because we see the first slide and then on the right hand side is the next slide as well. If you can just make a full screen from the slide, so it will be more visible if someone is using the mobile handset.
I am trying to do that. Sure. Just a second. Right, no, this is not it. Just a second. So, Actually, I am, connected with an
Another setup. Okay. Okay.
yeah, and that is why probably the settings of my laptop is automatically showing this in this
Okay.
form.
Now, no, never mind. Yeah.
So, I think you should be clicking on the slideshow and choose by window. Then you would
Yeah.
be
So
seeing
rather
the
than
browser.
displaying the entire screen, you can just display the particular screen.
So in the display settings, you can click that swap presenter view. Then it'll be fine.
This is
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you so
Done.
much
Done.
for the help. Thank you so much for the help. Thank you. Right. So yes, now can we continue?
Yes, please.
All right. And as I was saying, nothing was happening in the hiding for BlackBerry. The iPhone was already out in 2007 as a touchscreen phone. Google was already working on its Android. But what they were enjoying, what was BlackBerry obsessed with, was the current demand for their phones. They saw no reason that if my customers are loving me right now, they are demanding full keyboard, physical keyboard in the phones. Why should I bother? So that's what happened. And naturally, when in future, when they accepted that this was a mistake, it was too late. Here is the moral that I want all the educators to understand. Uh, if whatever game you are playing, if there is a new competitor comes in, that new competitor can take away some of your market share. But if the new game emerges in the market, a new format or a new kind of product or a new concept emerges in the market, then there is a threat that what you are selling in the market, what you are serving the people, might become totally irrelevant and it will eliminate your product's demand. So keep this in mind. The reason we put that as the first slide is because if companies, huge, humongous, giant companies like BlackBerry, who were ruling the world market at one point of time, if they can have the crisis of survival, any organization can, right? So let's not just brush it off that survival is not a question. All right. So I will be sharing these slides with you, and you can read this Harvard case study, which has the details about this story uh, after this presentation. So, what is the new format that is emerging in the school education system? That new format is called the 21st century education. I know I'm not bringing any news to you. And this 21st century education can now very crisply be defined as uh, making your students ready for an AI dominated future. All right. Uh, let's see how strong is the demand for this new format of education, 21st century education. From the industry, they have started shouting at the top of their voice to schools and colleges, make your students AI ready. The government is also starting to encourage, and the voice is getting stronger from the government, that make your students NEP, sorry, the school becomes 100% NEP ready. But then, is the industry paying us? Is the NEP paying us? No. Who is paying us? The parents are paying us. And what are they demanding? They are not demanding 21st century education. What they are demanding? Get our son or daughter into IIT or in NEET, or get the board exams marks. That's what they are demanding, right? So at least you can feel rest assured that I know the reality of schools, what the constraints they are working in, right? So, do you agree the scenario which I have depicted in this slide? Have I got the scenario correct, my dear friends?
Yes. Yes.
Right? Okay. So, dear friends, this is the same trap what BlackBerry fell into. You know, they focused on their existing customers because they were demanding physical keyboards, and just because they continued to focus on that thing, when they realized their mistake, it was too late for them to move. All right. So the my message here is that no business should blindly trust their customers' demand, because it can change overnight. Let me ask you. In February of 2020, that was the time when COVID was already a known thing, but in India we did not have the lockdown, and we were just talking about what's happening in China, what's happening in other countries. COVID can come to India. That was February of 2020, right? Did any parent come to you and demanded online classes? Can anybody share any experience with me or other people that yes, in my school, even before lockdown happened, some parents came to us and said that we want, we only want online classes for our children. You start using Zoom or Google Meet or Teams. Did that happen?
Not in our school.
Even I don't know if it happened anywhere in the world.
Yes, never happened. Yeah.
But right 1 month later, when the lockdown was imposed, the same set of parents were expecting what from you? That all of your teachers should be pro at using these online video conferencing tools and conduct online classes and be equally efficient as if they are teaching in the class. Weren't they expecting it from you? Right?
Yes.
1 month
Yes.
later. So, dear friends, the moral is we should not blindfoldedly trust our customers' demand because they also don't know what their future looks like. They will just go with their best of, uh, instincts at that time, and they will demand whatever they want to. All right. So, what can the school do to avoid this BlackBerry fate? We have to cater to our paying customers who are the parents. Yet the industry is saying that, and the government is saying, you become AI ready, you become NEP ready. What should the school do? So here is a quick strategy, quick advice to you. You should honor the expectations of industry and NEP because that's the future. And then you have to do something which sounds difficult, but that's the only option, that you have to uh, talk to your parents, tactfully convince them about the compulsions of change. Let's try to look into a crystal ball here. uh, and when you talk to the parents, what can you tell them, that what kind of change is happening? Okay, can you tell me that in near future IITs can have multiple entrance routes? What do you think? And or any top premium colleges in India or elsewhere can have, apart from that one entrance exam, it can be multiple ways to enter into that college. Is it possible? Does NEP allow that?
I, I think we need to have some more clarity on the question, Raghu.
So we have an entrance exam for Indian Institute of Technology colleges, right?
Yes.
We have an entrance exam, right?
Yes.
Is it possible that in future, in addition to that entrance exam, IITs can allow students to take admissions based on various other things? Maybe the projects they made in school, maybe something else. Maybe they are coming from an arts college, but there is a route from arts college to IITs. Do you think NEP is allowing that?
Yes. Multidisciplinary. Yes.
Yes, and multiple entrance.
Interdisciplinary. Yes.
Multiple entrance routes into the same college. Then, okay, what do you think? Can the pattern of board exams change in future, and they start testing the communication skills, collaboration, critical thinking, and such things, and not what it is today? Is it possible it can change in near future?
Yes, there is a possibility.
Okay, and my last question to help you think a little bit about this compulsion of change, and please listen to me very carefully, will a good college, going to good college, still remain a prerequisite for a great career for a student? Today, to have a great career, your students must go to a good college. After passing school, they must enter a good college so that they start a great career. Am I right? That's the condition today.
Yes.
Is it possible that your students can have a great career without having a college degree?
Mostly if colleges do not change their pattern of teaching. Or
Right, absolutely. If we would have more time, we could have discussed in detail.
yeah,
But if you look,
we get the answers in the chat box.
so, if you look at what the top companies are saying, if you look at what the industry experts are saying, They want skills. They don't want college degrees from students, right?
Yes.
All right. So here is a quick advice that to avoid the BlackBerry fate, you have to honor what industry and NEP is saying, and tactfully try to convince the parents that, listen, parents, that we have to change our ways a bit. So please cooperate. Okay. Thankfully, there is one big sigh of relief for you: the expectation of industry that you make your students AI ready, and the expectation of government that you become NEP ready is exactly the same. You don't have to do even one bit different from becoming 100% NEP ready, or you think that you are making your students 100% AI ready. It's basically the same set of to dos that you have to follow. So this is a big sigh of relief. You don't have to walk on two paths. Okay, let's see what they are, what these things are. So to, I guess, to achieve that state, you can set 4 goals for yourself, and that goals are important to be achieved in the next 2 years. Make your school NEP ready, make your students 21st century and AI ready. Then number 3, very very important, make the best use of AI in your own school, in teaching and non-teaching processes. And then something which will be a fallout of using so much of technology, that there will be digital discipline issues in your school. You must have a system of handling those. Let's quickly look at these goals and some solutions around those. So, how to become 100% NEP ready? If you just pick up the NEP document and start reading, it looks like a big cloud. It doesn't give you a clarity, although objectives are very clear what you're supposed to do, but how you are supposed to achieve that is not very clear in that document. So, what we have done, we have converted that NEP expectations into a set of 20 questions. It's a question paper containing 20 questions for senior educators and school decision makers to work on. Uh, as I said, you will be getting these slides. You can just click on this download question paper button then, and you can attempt this question paper. It will, when you are answering these 20 questions, you are basically planning NEP implementation into your school. So we have done a fair bit of bringing in clarity into that process. Okay, and we call it the toughest exam for schools. Trust me, when you're going to read these questions, you will see that this is not a joke. We are not adding one more workshop or a subject to the school. We are actually looking at transformation. Okay, in nutshell, what NEP wants from you. In a nutshell, these are the 3 things what NEP expects your school to do. Number 1, your teachers should, put on this new role. Now they are not just teaching or delivering the content from the book or the smart board. They are not just amplifying what's written in the book. They are doing these 5 C's. They are creating their own content digitally, and more importantly, they are curating content from an ocean of learning resources which is available on internet, and they are able to curate it very well, depending upon the custom needs of their students. Then they are conducting flipped classes or conducting project based learning modules. I'm sure the community very well understands what flipped classes are. Then number 4 and 5 are extremely important. Coach the students and counsel the students. So this is where the human teacher connects with the student at the human level and tries to address the personal problems of the students. What is not, what's the problem in understanding some subjects, and what if it is other than academics that a child is struggling with, to become their coach and counsel. If a teacher can do these 5 things, then that teacher is fit to be teaching in a 21st century school. Otherwise, the current role of a teacher, which is basically amplifying what's written in the book, is much better done by AI. We'll look at that. Then we'll look at this number 3 column. This is the goals. These are the goals that your students should be working towards, or you have to nurture your students towards these goals. These are very popular 4 C's: critical thinking, creativity, for problem solving, then collaboration, communication, and what we have added to this is very important self-learning skills. So these are the forces and optimum use of technology. Uh, you know what, you can really appreciate these things that you want to do, you accept it and you want to do that, but the reality is your teachers cannot fit into the new role of 5 Cs, your students cannot achieve the new learning goals, and optimum use of digital technologies also cannot happen if there is if the strong foundation of something is missing. We'll look at something very shortly. Okay, let's look at the number 2 goal. You want to make your students 21st century ready and AI ready. Okay, fortunately, if you are working on NEP implementation sincerely, you will not have to do anything extra. Okay, if you are just doing that, your students will cross this chasm with these steps of critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, self-learning skills, and they will achieve 21st century success without doubt. So work on goal number 1, goal number 2 automatically will be achieved. But your students cannot develop these 4 Cs and self-learning skills without the strong foundation of something. We will look at what that something is shortly. Number 3, and this is extremely important for all the decision makers who are attending this session. You have to now decide that time to use AI in classroom and in our school has arrived. The time for wait and watch is over. I would welcome you to read this thing here, and I would read it out for you. Schools making the best use of artificial intelligence will easily push out the ones not using it. Sorry, it is a cutthroat competition out there, whether we diplomatically accept it or not, but it is out there. AI plus internet, this combination can greatly enhance the quality of what a school delivers and also the number of students that a school can take care of. If a school can take care of 1,000 or 5,000 students in a physical infrastructure with the help of AI plus internet, the school can very well run a virtual campus and the capacity can go up to 20,000 or even 50,000 students being catered to from the same physical infrastructure. So that's a big opportunity for you also and also for your competitor. All right, my dear friends. And we want our teachers and students to utilize AI tools well, but they cannot do it unless the foundation is missing. We'll look at the foundation very soon. As I said, when you're going to start using optimum level of technology in your school, the digital discipline problems will arrive. And trust me, these problems are already there in your school. Some might acknowledge, some school leaders here might acknowledge, and some might not. But your students are already overusing, misusing, and using internet in a risky way. This is happening every day. This is not an occasional thing. Cyberbullying, students going on confession pages and write something nasty about the school or teachers or students. Plagiarism is happening left and right every day. Your majority of your students are in some or the other kind of digital addiction. Pornography and hacking, all of these things are already happening, and as of now, as we speak, schools are dealing with police and courts and cyber legal cases because students indulging in these things. All right. uh, some can acknowledge and some might not, but this is happening. uh, there is a way to address that, and this is also part of takeaway from today's session, that you must implement an acceptable use policy in your school, and we have a draft for you to download and customize. We can have a detailed discussion on how to implement AUP, but in a nutshell, you can have this document in your school signed by everyone, but you want students to follow that, practice those things, right? That cannot happen unless there is a strong foundation of something, and that something is digital citizenship and internet maturity skills. So if you want your teachers and students to create great digital content, comply with your school's acceptable use policy, develop self-learning skills and 4Cs, manage their own online reputations, teachers and students to perform well in the new NEP scenarios, use make the optimum use of technologies and make the optimum use of AI tools effectively for teaching and learning, you need to have the foundation of these 10 skills. All right. So quickly, these are the 10 skills which cover all the necessary aspects of being productive and safe online. Okay. So mature social networking, professional networking, sharing knowledge on forums, expressing your own knowledge through blogs, how to search trustworthy knowledge online, making the best use of online courses, digital ethics, online safety, and making developing a positive online reputation. So this foundation is absolutely important for a 21st century school. That's why we call this subject DCM as the most important subject. So to create this strong foundation, we have a path suggested for you. The level one, we have already facilitated with a free toolkit for any school to work on. That is called a, and we propose that you start a DCIM club in your school using our free toolkit. You can download this free toolkit from this presentation when we give it to you later. And then you can explore what this level 2 and level 3 are. Uh, right now, I will go ahead and talk about the AI readiness, which you need to understand. Uh, by the way, there are so many other benefits of running digital citizenship and internet maturity program in your school. So many other benefits. We can talk about it later someday. But here is the thing, my dear decision makers, as I requested, GET, Ahmedabad, and Pune to, make sure the decision makers and school owners and leaders are here. Uh, till just 1 or 2 years back, the formula for success of a school was on the left side of the screen, which is 50%. You have to be an English medium school. You have to have international standards of infrastructure and education. You have to have a great infrastructure. You have to have excellent teachers. Then produce great board exam results, IIT, NEET, and all the entrance exam results, and provide all-round development to the students. Am I right? This formula, if any school has cracked, it is a successful school, right? Have I missed something in that formula?
Yeah, it's ever growing. It's ever growing. You're right.
And now, if you look at right after the launch of ChatGPT and the explosion of AI tools and what AI can do on the positive and negative side, now the schools have to be fair. That is, be focusing on AI readiness. So please remember this acronym FAIR. This is 50% of now your success and survival. And this is going to be absolutely true, in my opinion, beyond 2025. So you have got time till 2025 to be fair. That is, be focusing on AI readiness. By the way, what is AI readiness? Let me quickly take you through this as we are approaching towards the end of this presentation. You can answer that, yeah, AI readiness is learning about AI and using AI tools in the class. True, but the AI readiness thing goes much deeper, and I'll show you. In addition to just your students learning AI and your teachers using AI tools in the classroom, there are so many other things. Number one, the skill readiness in your students for an uncertain future, an ever changing job scenario. And that skill readiness is this: a strong foundation of digital citizenship and internet maturity skills. On top of that, communication, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and self learning skills. And on top of that, strong AI skills. So, this is the pyramid that ensures this. The student, if the student is having this pyramid inside him or her, then the student is ready for an ever changing job scenario. Even if the student faces as we say, a career crisis, then the student has the skill to sail through that career crisis. If the job is lost, the student can relearn for a new job. But you also need to install mental resilience in your students to cope with career crisis. It's not crisis, it's the plural. Multiple crises are going to be occurring in your students career life, probably twice a year or maybe once a year. They might have to make major changes to their career. So there has to be mental resilience to that. Then they need to have a knowledge of global AI trends, such as what new tools are coming, what new techniques are coming out, concepts like universal basic income. Does anyone here know what the concept of universal basic income is? UBI. Has anyone heard this thing recently in context of AI? Green, please. Has anyone heard about concept of UBI?
Not really. We don't have
Okay.
much answers in the chat, and that also is no only. We have to
Okay,
answer
all
that.
right, all right. So you will be surprised that leaders, tech leaders across the world, including Sam Altman, Bill Gates, all of these top people are telling governments across the world that start making strategies and policies around UBI, that is Universal Basic Income, which means majority of the youngsters are not going to get an employment which can feed them and clothe them. So be prepared to give them a very basic amount of income every month in their account so that they can buy food, buy clothes, and buy bus passes and buy electricity for survival. And they are saying a majority of the population will have to survive on universal basic income. So are we aware about these trends? These talks have been happening since past 6 months. So please open up your eyes to this ecosystems beyond school ecosystem. Look at what industry is doing. Okay, and what new careers can emerge out of AI. Okay, so the knowledge of these global trends are absolutely important, mission critical. Then uh, AI readiness also means that the students know how to stay safe from the AI evils. Concept like deep fakes, misinformation, hallucinating AI girlfriends and boyfriends, which can take completely distract a person from their own well-being and get sucked into an AI created world. I'm sure many people here might not be aware about deep fakes and hallucinating AI concepts. Augmented reality. Uh, and augmented reality things. So safeguards from these things are important. And finally, the truth will be our children will, majority of our children will not have money to spend on vanity. You will have to teach them right now to start living a simple lifestyle. What is fiscal discipline? What is not overspending and avoiding vanity purchases? So, my dear friends, all of these things are included in AI readiness. It's not just learning how to use AI. That's the world we are going into. So, as I say, your school has to be fair. That is, your school has to be focusing on AI readiness of students definitely by 2025, because after that, these are the requirements. This will be the demand from the parents, as far as I understand. Here is my last slide, dear attendees. Not just BlackBerry failed, another giant, a company much bigger than BlackBerry, which ruled probably a bigger market than BlackBerry. It was called Nokia, right? Doesn't need any introduction. That also failed because of the same reason. And the CEO, while it was being acquired by Microsoft, the Nokia CEO was giving his last speech and he burst into tears and said, "We didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost." So, dear educators, what you are doing right now in the best interest of your school is not wrong. But please look at the trends, the writings on the wall, which has been written by industry, which is being written by government, and act according to those things. And if you're convinced that yes, you want to implement DCM program with the help of Google Educators Group, I'm sure my company would want to support everyone here to implement a DCM program in their school. So yeah, thank you very much, and I'm open for Q&A. I'll be sharing these slides in PDF format through Dr. Varia sir, and all of these things, the NEP readiness document, the AUP, and all of these things are downloadable from that very slide deck. So yeah.
Yeah. So thanks, Raghu. We have really given an eye-opening session to us today. Something into the world of AI, and somewhere where we cannot imagine that where things would go. where the careers would go. And this is something you really opened up our eyes. But now we need to learn for all these things. I think we got another mission for GEG, that to make all the educators aware in this direction. And with this occasion, I would take opportunity to welcome Scott from US all the way. Welcome, Scott. And he had already suggested a very good option in the chat, like collecting some Pi Bitcoins, something. What was it, Scott?
Hello, thank you, Raghu, so much for your great presentation, and thank you, Vishal, as well. Stanford Mine Pi cryptocurrency, which I posted a link to in the chat, which you can download and start mining every day, is a free Pi coin money daily. And by clicking 2 buttons, taking less than 5 seconds, you can get 5 to 6 Pi coin every day. And the algorithms AI continue to go up. So this is one cryptocurrency out there. It's easily obtainable. And World University and School, of which I'm the founder, seeks in many ways to make this available with free universal education online in India, in all 22 official and scheduled languages, and maybe in all 470 languages by one count that I've heard are in India, so that all Indians can have free education online, free degrees on one hand, and and wiki schools on the other. So this is the idea, partly with World University and School making Stanford Mine Pi cryptocurrency free money daily available too, in combination.
Brilliant, Scott. Thanks for giving us these insights. So, very well agree upon what Raghu had shared with us today, and what Scott has also shared with us today. And I would wish if anyone would like to interact, would like to agree or differ, or would like to contribute for today's discussion. Meanwhile, I'll get the feedback forms ready. So I'll be sharing a feedback form link in a short while. You'll have to fill up the feedback form to achieve your attendance certificate. And if you at any point of time, if that feedback form stops collecting the feedback, don't worry. Check after an hour or so. It will automatically reset, because we are all using our free utilities. GEGs are not funded by anyone. They are very much voluntary organizations. So we all depend upon those freebies that we get from the internet, and the certificates will be shared accordingly. So in case when you're filling up the form and if you feel that the form is no longer accepting any responses, it will automatically restart after an hour or two, right? So in the meantime, I open the session for discussion. Anyone who would like to contribute the idea with today's topic, like education in the AI era, I would like to share their insights with us. You're welcome to share.
Raghu, I have a question. Could you please recapitulate what you said about the national education policy in India and artificial intelligence? I came in a half hour late, having only got the URL at that time. What is India's national education policy at this point in this early time with artificial intelligence?
You are on mute, Raghu.
Sure, Scott, I would clarify on that. So as far as I have delved deeper into the new national education policy of Government of India that was released in 2020, it has broadly two parts. One is school education, one is college education. For today's discussion, the school education part is relevant to us. That section beautifully sets the objectives or the desired outcomes of school educations for students. And if you look at those desired outcomes, they align with the recommendations of global experts on 21st century education. That is install the 4 C's, that is creativity, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, 21st century technical skills, which include all the technology tools, including AI and so many other things. They also cover so many scenarios which the schools must implement to deliver these outcomes to the students, but they do not go deep into how to do that, or do not give clarity into those scenarios, how they exactly should be. So what I have done at my personal level is to create a set of 20 questions out of that national education policy. Those 20 questions are supposed to be answered by the school leaders, and if they are answering those questions sincerely, they are basically creating their own NEP readiness policy, which basically makes their school AI ready and 21st century education ready. So the point I made was that number one, NEP is not a country specific document. It encompasses all the best practices or the best recommendations of 21st century education experts. Number two, which is a very fortunate thing, that if schools of today focus on NEP readiness, they are basically doing the same things which are required to do to become AI ready, or focus on AI readiness of these students. So that's what I said.
So we have a chat. We have a chat option here. The last point about AI and using AI tools, simple lifestyle, discipline, etc. How do you define this for our students who are in their teens?
Can I have the question again? Okay. The last point about AI and using AI.
Okay, in the chat.
Oh, simple lifestyle. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So this is very important, and this is not intuitive for us to think. As I said, what is AI readiness? If we say what is AI readiness, we think that if we teach AI tools to our students, if our teachers are knowing how to use AI, they are AI ready, right? No, AI is not just a new set of tools to be used in the job. AI is going to disrupt everything that is around you, your life, your health, your money, your city, your country, your career, your environment. Everything will be disrupted, for good or for bad, that is to be seen, but it will be disrupted. And one thing is guaranteed is that not as many people will be into full-time jobs because of AI replacing them. And it's not me saying it. I mean, you go to YouTube and listen to so many people from the industry who can be trusted for what they say, are saying this. I'm just a messenger here. So if the scenario is going to be where students are not going to be earning like the ones students passing today out of colleges earn, right after the college they would have a good job, then right after their good job they would book a flat, book an apartment or a car on an EMI. But you will have to teach them that no, be fiscally responsible for yourself. Don't spend on vanity, spend on only what is required, because you are never sure what's going to happen next month to your job. If you have to pay an EMI of 50,000 rupees every month, you might be able to pay it today, but what happens to your job tomorrow, you do not know. So that's what my point around fiscal discipline, spending wisely, not going towards vanity spend. And yes, I also have one point from my physical audience here. Yes, please.
It's an EMI trap. The whole psychology behind it, which actually attracts customers to go for affordable,
correct,
easy
correct.
financial
So
options
yeah,
rather
don't fall
than-
into the EMI trap, because your job security is completely out of it's not guaranteed now. So you have to make them AI ready till that point. It's not just exposing them to just one tool or two tools. It's a big question.
We have Dr. Basha joining us from Indonesia, and he is volunteered to speak. Yes, Dr. Basha.
Yeah, it's really an awesome presentation, Mr. Raghu, and I really appreciate so much about your presentations today. But I have one question is regarding the AI indications. What do you think about the challenges can be going to be faced by the future generations, whereby sometime maybe in the near future they use AI as a shortcut to send their theses or answering their exam questions. So how do we as educators going to overcome this problem in the near future? Back to you, Mr. Raghu.
Yeah, thank you for your question, Dr. Basha. You're absolutely right that in the framework of school education today, uh, ChatGPT and AI tools have come in and they have completely disrupted them. A student can submit a thesis or answer questions or do anything in seconds. What you expected the students to work on hours and do that, right? And so that fundamental shift is supposed to happen in schools. If the exams are testing not their subject knowledge but uh, what a student does after the student gets that subject knowledge. For example, if I learn trigonometry, don't test my knowledge of trigonometry. Test what I can do with that knowledge of trigonometry, my creativity to solve some problem with the help of trigonometry, my communication around trigonometry, my collaboration skills. Can I do a project with my friends and produce something with the help of trigonometry? And critical thinking. If I'm applying trigonometry to some problem, am I right? Am I wrong? Or is there a better way? I put up my thinking, not a particular airtight, watertight solution to some problem. If the exams start testing that, then no AI can give a shortcut to the child. The child has to think. So exams have to go to testing thinking level, not memory level. When you do that shift, then AI is only going to be a friend, and you can write in your exam question paper that dear students, you are welcome to use whatever AI tool you want to use. Unless that shift happens, AI will be 10 steps ahead of any school education system of today.
Brilliantly answered, Raghu. So yeah, I do remember a talk with my mentor in the education department, focusing on not to test the student based on the theory, but to test the student based on the application of the theory. How do you apply that theory into the real life? Just as you very well explained, like giving an example of trigonometry. You don't test the knowledge of trigonometry of the student, but test the application of the trigonometry, like where this trigonometry can be used in real life. So this is somewhere AI would be just a helping hand rather than a camouflage to the students. So we have got some very good inputs from Scott again. So he just mentioned about what success things you mentioned for schools to use AI. Applies to schools that use English medium, right? That teach in English medium. So what about the schools who are not having English as a major language or the regional medium? And apparently, Scott has also given a solution, and I open it to Scott as well. Scott, you directly please mention it.
Great. I was curious about all the students who don't speak English and how in the 22 scheduled languages in India, and how they could possibly get successful schools online thanks to artificial intelligence. And then because of the web and because they could have school from home in their language. And then I asked about this example of CS First with Google course, learning the Scratch programming language, and how it is informed by artificial intelligence. And could it be translated into all 22 official languages in India as a starting place for a high school degree online from home in India for students who don't speak English and who don't have access to successful English medium schools? What do you think, Raghu?
Right, Scott, I can see your viewpoint is valid. I can only tell you the reality of school education here in India, why English medium tops the list of priority for ensuring that a school venture. I'm looking at it from the perspective of a school owner who risks his or her money and time and energy and life with a school venture. Why English medium tops is because English education is a gateway to a top level career opportunity in the world. There are schools which are, belonging to other language mediums, but after the student passes from that school, it is the student's responsibility to make himself or herself well versed in English and then enter the top level of career opportunities. So that's why it was written that the formula of success for a school as a venture includes English medium. Otherwise, absorption of knowledge while the student is going from nursery to grade 12 happens best if the medium also includes the local language. That happens for sure, but the perspective is a little different here. That's why we had put it there.
Yeah, you're muted, Scott.
So you're offering a perspective. Thank you for that, Raghu. You're offering a perspective on how schools can become successful in India. And not only does it involve all those criteria, including English language, but now newly with artificial intelligence. This is sort of the sort of argument of your talk today in some ways, or
Indeed. So, right. So
companies-
now what I'm proposing is that was the formula wherein English medium, great infrastructure, excellent teachers, and all of these things was existing since past couple of decades. That did not change. Now that only plays half. That is only 50% important in school success. The other 50% is now will be taken over by focusing on AI readiness of students. If that's missing, the first half is not an effective takeaway for a student.
Brilliant. So I think it's already 1 hour, and that comes to the conclusion of today's session here. If at all anyone has any questions, they can still stay back. We can just have a conclusion, first of all. So I thank one and all who has joined today for this particular session. I very well thank Raghu Pandey for sparing his time and expertise with us and giving us these insights on the future of education in the AI era. So I would suggest all the educators to stay connected with GG Ahmedabad. You will be getting such good sessions, professional development session links, eventually and occasionally, once at least a month. And we'll be sharing such knowledge which will be useful to you to upgrade yourself as a school teacher or as a teacher, using technology in education, using technology for assessments, using technology for, say, imparting education, and so on. So here we come to a conclusion of today's session. Thank you one and all for joining this session. And now I'm stopping this record. If at all anyone has got any doubts, they can stay back. Rest are free to leave. Thank you.
So, Dr. Varia,
yes,
should I be sending that PDF to you, and you will be sending?
Yes. So exactly. So Raghu, you please share the resources with me, and I will be sharing the resources, the recording of this session, as well as link to the feedback forms to all the attendees via email. So it will take some time to download the recording. So please be patient. Maybe I'll be sharing the recording tomorrow with all the necessary links. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye. Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah. So to join the GEG group, ma'am, if you have received the email regarding joining this session, it was already there inside it. You may connect with GEG Ahmedabad Facebook page or Twitter account. And from everywhere, you will be able to get that link. Once you are registered in GEG Ahmedabad, you will be receiving a membership logo. And once you receive it, you're already into the group list. So every time a session will be there, you will be informed via email. So anyone would like to share anything?